Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to correct an issue when you launch the MudPie Creations Church Bookkeeper application and you get an unable to connect to the database message. And at the bottom, it says login failed for user SA. So you may have an older version of BookKeeper and may not get the login failed for user SA message. It may only say unable to connect to the database. If so, this is the third video in a series, and you should check out the first and second videos before doing these steps to make sure that it's not something much simpler to correct the issue. So um, what we're going to do in this video is needed if you, in very rare cases when SQL becomes corrupt, and if you followed along in the first video and attempted to start the SQL service and it would not start, then this video, the steps in this video is what you need to do next. But the most common thing, especially if you have the newer version and it says login failed for user SA, it uh, it almost always means that during the SQL portion of the Church Bookkeeper install, that something was changed in the install screens. And so there was a message that was displayed just before the SQL part that, and if you're like me, whenever a message pops up, you just immediately instinctively hit OK, and then you wonder if that was important information that you didn't read. And in this case, it was important because it said not to make any changes. And so when we get to the part where we're reinstalling Church Bookkeeper, we'll take a look at that message. Okay, so if you hit OK after you get this message, it will launch Church Bookkeeper, but you can see that all of the icons are disabled on the main screen and only the Bookkeeper and Help menus are available. And then at the bottom it says unable to connect to database. So again, if you've just gotten a very generic message that doesn't say login failed for user SA, please check out videos 1 and 2 before following these steps. So to correct the login error, we're going to uninstall SQL and then reinstall Church Bookkeeper. So I'm going to go ahead and close the Bookkeeper app. And down here at the search bar for Windows, I'm going to start typing add or remove. And immediately the add or remove programs option is listed here. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to list all of the apps that are installed on the computer. So this is sorted by size, which isn't very helpful because I'm looking for a particular application name. So I'm going to change it to sort by name. So now it's in alphabetical order, and I'm going to scroll down to the M's, and I'm looking for Microsoft SQL Server 2014, this one right here. So you can see there's other Microsoft SQL Server things. Here's one that says Microsoft SQL Server 2014 Setup. I'm going to ignore those, and I'm only going to look at the Microsoft SQL Server 2014. And I'm going to click on Uninstall. So it's going to say that everything related to the app is going to be uninstalled, which is what I want. So then I'm going to say yes, that I want it to make changes to my computer. And then a window will pop up allowing you to repair, add, or remove. And we're going to click on the remove option. Okay, as I go through here, if any other app is using SQL Server in addition to the Church Bookkeeper app, then you may have several instances listed here. You just want to make sure that the MPC instance, that's the one for MudPie Creations, is selected. If only Church Bookkeeper is using SQL, it'll be the only one in the list, but just make sure that you're going to uninstall the MPC instance. And then you press the next button. Okay, all of these boxes are unchecked, so we want to press the select all button so all of them get checked, and then we're going to press the next button. Okay, now it's ready to remove, so I'm going to press the remove button, and this will take a few minutes. Okay, several minutes have passed now, and a progress bar went all the way across. Now, as you can see, all of the status for each feature is set to succeeded, and SQL Server has been removed successfully. So we're going to press the close button, and we can now close out of the AddRemove Programs window. So now SQL is uninstalled, so we're going to rerun the Church Bookkeeper install so that it will reinstall SQL and set up the database for us. Okay, if you've purchased Church Bookkeeper on CD, then you can navigate to the CD-ROM drive by going to the File Explorer, go to your DVD or CD-ROM drive, and double click, and you'll find a application there. The type is application and the name is setup. And you'll double click that to launch the Church Bookkeeper install. However, if you've purchased Church Bookkeeper as a download file, then you don't need to re-download the app, and you don't need to um, go to your USB drive or wherever you've backed up the install. Um, you, all of the files that um, are needed for reinstalling Church Bookkeeper should already be on your computer. So you would just go to the File Explorer window, go to Local Disk C, and then look for Program Files x86. So then in this folder, there is a Setup Bookkeeper folder. So double click on that. And this is the contents of all the files that would have been on the CD if you had purchased a CD. Okay, so again, you just find the Setup application and double click. And then you choose yes, that you want to allow it to make changes. Okay, and it will ask you if you want to modify, repair, or remove. The default is repair, and just keep that setting selected and press the next button. So it'll quickly go through the files. It'll realize that everything's already set up except for the database. So this is a really quick process. So then before it will install SQL, it will tell you that the computer needs to reboot. So you can just make sure everything's closed. If you had anything else opened, you want to save it. And as soon as you press the OK button, the computer is going to reboot automatically. I'm going to go ahead and reboot my computer by pressing OK. And when my computer restarts, I'll continue the tutorial. Okay, my computer's back up and running, and so I'm going to log in. And the Church Bookkeeper install will launch automatically once everything's loaded back up. So I don't need to click on anything or make any changes. It'll pop up here, and this is the message that I was telling you earlier about, that you may have inadvertently clicked OK without reading it. And so let's take a second and look at what it says. It says the Microsoft SQL database install is about to be launched. Please accept the license agreement and ensure that MPC is the selected instance. And that's only if you're upgrading SQL, but do not make any other changes to the default settings on each screen. So that's really important information. So let's keep that in mind, and we'll press the OK button. So then next it'll prompt you to choose a location to extract the files. You can just use the default path, press OK, and all the files will take just a minute or two to extract. Okay, so now the SQL Server install has launched, and this is the only thing that you're going to change during each screen of the wizard. You're going to click on the I accept the license terms and press the next button. Okay, there's some rule checks that are going to occur. If anything is listed as an issue, it will display there and it won't advance to the next screen. So nothing has been flagged as a problem. We're making no changes and we're just going to press the next button. Okay, it's doing another rule check and it's automatically advancing to the next screen because there were no problems detected. Again, we're only going to press the next button. Okay, again, no changes. We want to keep it at MPC for the instance name. We're just going to press next. Okay, again, no changes. Pressing the next button. Okay, this is the screen where many people feel like they want to change the password. And that is what will cause the login failed for user SA message that we saw originally. So you should not change the password or make any other changes. Don't change the authentication mode, just only press the next button. And once you do that, the SQL files will start to be installed. And this takes several minutes, so I'm going to advance through these and I will continue the tutorial as soon as it's finished. Okay, now everything has finished. All of the features have succeeded in installing, and so I'm going to press the close button, and this will allow the Church Bookkeeper install to continue, and the computer needs to reboot one last time. So we're going to hit the OK button, and the computer is going to restart. Okay, my computer's back at the login screen, so I'm going to log in. And the Church Bookkeeper install will continue without me doing anything. It will just automatically continue on. So I'm not going to click on anything. I'm just going to give it a second and it's going to continue installing the database. Okay, it's complete. So now I'm going to hit the finish button. And now if I launch the Church Bookkeeper application, it starts up. All of the icons are on the main screen are available and everything is working.